What's going on, y'all? It's your boy JH Gibbons here,
And we'll see.
and welcome to yet another episode of the Acromas Podcast, episode 4D. 40 straight episodes, 40 straight weeks, 40 straight Sundays, and we welcome you once again to another episode. Man, what a week. What a week. I know we talked about it a little bit before we got on here, but wow, it has been a week, and I'm sure those out there, you've probably had some similar weeks. Well, this is where you come for some therapy. So if this is your first time here, click that like button, click that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, and all of that would allow you to see the latest and greatest Acromas episodes every time you hop on YouTube. And of course, most of all,
It is free to do so. It's free to do all those things Jay just mentioned, guys. As always, just to recap it again, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, that notification, and we're going to bring all the content to you. So please don't miss out on any of that. And also, it helps me to remind Jay every single week of that it's a free thing to do. So make sure you lock that in as well, guys.
crazy. Crazy. I would love hearing the word free more after looking at my credit card statement. I would love to hear free because if anything is free, pass it on to me. I need it,
There you go.
including these episodes that we put together. Look, we put together some gems. Like I said, if this is your first time here, feel free to go through our list. Feel free to go through all of our episodes. I can guarantee you there's something in there that you can take away and apply it to your life immediately. And that is the purpose of Acromas, was to build habits, to build these healthy habits for you to live a more fulfilling life and just have a better future for yourself. So with that being said, there are other ways that you can represent our brand. There are other ways that you can get to know more about our brand, and it's none other than the Acromas store. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where this beautiful shirt came
Check that
from.
out, guys.
If you are on YouTube and you're not on Spotify seeing this, you are seeing a beautiful shirt from the Acromas store. You have shirts, you have hoodies. I know it's getting colder. Winter is upon us. Winter is really coming, unlike in that show that I am not going to mention right now. It is here. It's almost here. You need to get warm. You need to stay warm. You've got hats, you've got pillows, sweaters, hoodies, sweatshirts, all of those great things. And most of all, we've got a promo code for you. If you type in never fall in that promo code section, you would get 25% off of anything in the store.
Anything.
Anything.
25% off sounds good to me.
Oh, it sounds great to me. Look, after this, I'm gonna buy out the whole store. Probably shouldn't, because you're gonna. Yeah, I know our customers are gonna need some, but man, there are some great outfits out there that we
Yes,
just
it
need to
is.
wear outside and represent the brand, man. It's Savage season coming up. It's getting cold. This is when a lot of people stay inside, but we're gonna keep grinding. We're gonna be out here because we're always out here in these streets, and we're always out here for our Chromes community. Man, this has been a crazy week. It's been a crazy year. Everybody who's followed us has known all the growth that we've had, including the guests that we've had on that have helped us grow as well, to learn different perspectives, to understand where they are in their lives and where we are in our life and with our Chromes community. I think it's important to continue to push forward. I think it's important to keep perspective. It's important to remain patient. It's important to keep our eyes on the prize, and it is important for us to really dive into this episode 40 here, where we get a chance to talk about the 21-3 method again. Now, when we first talked about it, it was more of an introductory episode in the 21-3 method. We spoke about what this method is based off of, how we came up with the idea, where we truly want to go with it. But now we get to really talk about some different aspects that we hadn't before covered. This includes the type of approach that we have in this method that is different from any other program that you've probably been a part of. We discuss a storytelling element within the 21-3 method that would be able to allow you to relate better to it than some other programs that are out there. So today we really want to just sit down, want to talk to Will C. I know you want to hear from JH Gibbons, and we really want to get into what the 21-3 method would be like for you.
Yeah, I agree. this is one of these things that you come across in life where you recognize it's a short thing. It's legit. It's the real thing. Um, Contrary to what we kind of see day to day, right? Or it's something we may see on TV or look, no knock to anyone in particular, but those promotional ads that you see that you get at those 3 o'clock, the 3 a.m.s.
And
um,
YouTube as well has that. It's
yes.
those every single time you see those ads. Hey guys, do you and this and then here's a beach behind me, here's a car, here's the Eiffel Tower for no
Yeah.
exact reason. Do you want to be rich and wealthy? All you got to do is click this thing here, and all of a sudden you'll get a ton of money. And
Mhm.
I'm sick of it. I know you're sick
Yeah.
of it. I know people in your Crumbs community is sick of it. It makes our industry worse because there's
Mhm.
just a lot of scams, there's a lot of frauds, there are a lot of people who are just looking to make a quick buck
Yeah.
instead of looking to change lives, and that is what we're here for. So
Mhm. Yeah. I mean that's the intention of it uh for the 21-3 method really was developed to hold oneself accountable for your growth and to have sustainability through the process. Because at the end of the day, it's a matter of you and how you feel about yourself and bringing out the best in you in the most healthiest ways possible. When you think about fitness, the first part people mostly think about is just like the physical aspect of it, and that is something that transitionally speaking can be adjusted with time, consistency, right? But how do you maintain that? And that was something that was very important to me. And it's one of those things where you get yourself in good shape, you kind of fall out of it, you go back and forth into this whole process. And for me it was like, okay, well, what is my purpose here? Like, why am I doing this? How can I hold myself really accountable in a way that's for me, outside of what you hear all the time that's doesn't apply to me in my life, right? Because a lot of those times in those ads, you already have the person who made it there, who's already in tip top shape, who gives you the image of what they want you to perceive, to say this is what it's like on the other side. But how the hell do you get there, right? What are the stepping stones in place to get to there? And what does that process look like for me? So I had to, take a step back amongst my healing season of dealing with life events and just recognize, okay, the changes I seek, how is that attainable for Will? And first and foremost, it was proactiveness. It was, okay, get up and go do this. Whatever it is that I set my mind to, that's my objective. Move forward towards it. Progression is still progress in any kind of way, right? So no matter how slow it is, how fast it is you want to get there, you be mindful of the process meticulously and how it works for you. And for me, and in most cases, for most people, it's a meticulous one. It's very methodical. You have to really know yourself enough to know what's going to work for you. And then once you have an idea of what that is, then you make the necessary adjustments to take yourself out of that comfort element, right? To become uncomfortable, because that's where the real work starts.
very true.
So for me, it was, getting up. And again, at that point, I'm pushing probably anywhere at this point. When I really started the process, I say I'm pushing between 260-ish to 270-ish.
Wow.
Right. So big as I've ever been in my life. And I didn't realize that was the case until I weighed myself and saw pictures of myself. And it's hard to see what you look like outward when you see yourself and that's your regular every day.
Yeah, it's very true.
So like as opposed to like now and back then I see pictures that pop up.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, my daughter showed me something from a year ago plus, probably like 2019. Yeah, definitely 2019
Mhm.
sometime, where she had a picture of a family picture of us that she shared with school. And I saw myself in it and I was like, oh my goodness, like, wow, I just let myself go.
Mhm.
Okay.
You never know until you truly see it from a different
Mm,
perspective, especially if you're looking at it in the past. You
yes.
you honestly can't believe that's who you were because you don't see it when you're in it. Were there
Mhm.
were there any bad habits that brought you to that point before you realized that, man, I got to make a change? Like
Uh,
what were some of those like very, very bad habits looking back on it? You're like, yeah, this led to where I was.
if I had to be totally honest, I'd say the bigger factor of those sort of unhealthy habits was allowing myself to just wallow in depression. I was very depressed in that point in
Mm,
my life. I was
mm,
very angry. Um, I was tired. I know it sounds odd to say, but I was tired.
mhm,
I was just existing, wasn't living. I put everyone else's needs before my own. Again, that's an unhealthy habit.
it is.
I didn't properly take the time to love myself, just as Jay
Mm,
described last week, as related to stress eating and those habits that are unhealthy for yourself to that degree. I was doing that same thing. I just was on autopilot with life, and I just didn't see the worth in me at that point. Um, Obviously, with life events and things that transpired that led up to that point, and thereafter, it just made it worse until a point to that I had to address it. Life events happen in a way that you're faced with choices, and I finally had to stand up for myself and make a choice for me. And in doing so was the beginning of really opening my eyes to realize how I was living, the choices I was accepting, and the changes I needed to make if I wanted to still be alive today. Because the truth of the matter is that you never know. But when you get to that place, you don't know about it tomorrow. You don't care about it tomorrow. You don't care about anything but whatever you're feeling to just stop. And to get to that place and to be in that place and know what it's like. Um, I'm grateful to found the strength to find my purpose through that darkness and to find my light in me so that I could persevere and grow from those experiences, because there are a lot of people who aren't here today because of that purpose, because of those same reasons.
mhm.
And they're not here. And here's the thing, it doesn't go away. Um, it's a constant fight inside yourself. And building healthy habits and tools that's going to help you do the emotional, the psychological warfare that you need to sustain yourself, your state of being, your boundaries, your peace
Mhm.
is going to be the hardest thing you ever do in your life. Most people, Jay, tend to stray away from it because they don't want to face themselves. It's the hardest thing to face yourself when
Absolutely.
you aren't your best self, and when you're faced with the mirror put in front of you, and you got nowhere to go. You got to see you, and you got to find a way to break through that. And for me, that's what the 21-3 method represents. It
Mhm.
represents change. It represents accountability. It represents choice. Um, it represents a healthy habit leading to joy,
Yeah.
whatever that looks like. Break something old, and like
Mhm.
a phoenix, become reborn in something new. And if there's any indication as to, you know, you know, where I am now in my journey, it's still a process, it's still an everyday thing.
Right.
But where I was in that moment when I reflected on the picture my daughter showed to me, I am not who that being was now. I
Mhm.
am much more stronger in myself, much more disciplined in my thought process, my maturity level in learning how to properly love and take care of myself, my mental health. Um, and that ultimately has helped to flourish in the physical aspect. Because, see, for me, for the most part, physically, I've never really had that issue of not being able to get myself in good shape. Sustainability is the hard part of it. So like right now,
Mhm.
as you know, Jay, I'm working through some injuries.
Right.
So my
Right.
I can't ramp it as hard as I want to, but I am
Mhm.
being consistent to stay on top of myself enough to get these workouts in that I need, because I'm so damn worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I got to make that time to love me properly. Um, And again, the 21-3 method, this is what separates it from a lot of what you see, because this is something that is relatable for everyone,
Mm,
from any background, any ethnicity. That's what a chromis is. It's a movement it's a colorless movement. It's not belonging to one person or another. This is
mm,
something to get behind if you truly believe in change and growth in the individual, and therefore within a community as well. And that's what we're trying to spread. That's what
yeah,
we are doing. So this isn't something that we just are talking to anyone as to provide to a consumer from that perspective. This is not what
right,
this is about. We could not be nice to be able to invest more into this, but not make a dollar, or it's not going to change the fact of what we're doing, because what we believe in.
right.
Because this is something that we hope that if you're listening to this resonates in here, that you feel it, and that without a shadow of a doubt that you are worth it. You fight those thoughts or those things in your mind that hold you back from being accountable. Stop making excuses for yourself, because you're shortchanging yourself. And that's what I had to tell me. So when I got out there, Jay, and I started that process of jogging,
Mm.
and then, I'm like 260 something pounds, and I got all that weight I didn't realize I had on me.
Woo! That's a lot. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
It is. You feel it in your knees, your hips,
Oh,
your back, because you're just carrying all of that. And
yeah.
because of our stature, we're not naturally supposed to be holding all that. So
No.
your whole body's feeling it as you're
Yeah.
moving.
Mhm.
And the fact that we're able to connect with you on that level while going through the program is again something that's unique, because typically these stories aren't told as the person is literally going through it.
Yeah.
So you literally get into the mind of Will C as he's taking those first steps off his stoop at 260, 270 pounds in the dead of summer, really, really hot, crazy outside, to be able to go and change his life and transform himself in 21 days and then continue that, sustain that long term, which is the most important part, because we can all go on a yo-yo diet. We can all try any of these diets that are out there. I don't need to name them. You know what they are. But once you get off of that, you bounce right back to where you used to be. This program teaches you how to not do that. This program teaches you how to live a sustainable lifestyle so that for the rest of your life, you are where you need to be, both physically and mentally. And I think that's something that's a very important aspect of the 21-3 method, and why I enjoyed going through this with you, interviewing you through each and every painstaking day that you had to go through, and then being able to develop on the back end a program that is sustainable for others to also get into. And again, I think that is the main reason why this program is so different. It's that storytelling aspect, is that relatability, is the authenticity, and it's that emotional connection that the reader or the performer or the athlete would be able to get from looking at what you had to go through. They will also be going through the same exact thing, especially if they are where you are in your unique situation that you were back then. And I think that connection is what people will take from this 21-3 method, and the reason why they wouldn't be able to put it down, the reason why they'll want to go to the next page, even though you gotta do a page a day, right? It's
Yeah.
just a page a day,
Mhm.
1% a day to get there. But they're gonna be so anxious to flip that page as they're like, oh man, I want to see what Will C is gonna go through next. And I want to also go through it because I know at the end of these days, I'm going to be a changed person. I think that in of itself would bring a lot of people in and also keep a lot of people here.
Very much so. Again, it goes back to you, and
Yep.
and how much do you love yourself?
Mm,
That's the question I don't think many people
mm,
really ask themselves. How much do you love
mhm,
you?
mhm,
Like, seriously, like, take a moment, look at yourself in the mirror for at least like 30 seconds. Can you do it?
mhm,
Can you
mhm.
do it without looking away or without
Man,
feeling insecure?
yep.
Nah, it's not an easy thing to do. It
Mm,
sounds crazy, right? It sounds like, this is something like you're like, what is he talking about? But try it. And for me, it was those moments where I was just like, oh,
mm,
well, I can't even really look at myself. I don't.
yeah.
Wow, okay. I got some work to do. Wow, I don't really care about me as much as I thought I did.
Mm,
How hard is it for me to tell myself, hey, I love you, to myself? You see, we can say it to anyone
Yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's just crazy how you can be a stranger today, friend tomorrow, love someone the next, and go back to being a stranger.
Mm.
Right. um Ultimately, I think a lot of that has to do with ourselves, because if we loved ourselves enough properly, we know what it is to be loved and know how to love another effectively.
Couldn't say it
So
better.
um this is all a part of the process of the 21-3 method. You got to know your worth for you. And we stress this and we say this all the time, but it's the true part of life that gets ignored, simply because people don't really love themselves, man.
Mm.
And I'm not here to judge anyone, and Jay's not here. We're not
Nah,
here to judge anyone.
of
We
course not.
we really are here to say, hey, you matter, because we recognize that we do. At some
Yep,
point, we realize we got it.
yep.
In our adulthood, we recognized at some point. And once you do, that's when the real work starts, because accountability sets in, and now
Mm.
it's on you. Now it's on
Yep.
you and how you're gonna respond and how you're gonna like hold on to that worth. And it
Yeah.
gets tricky, it gets hard, but the 21-3 method is designed to help keep you disciplined, to sustain it. That's what it's for.
Mm.
See, it's like the plane, right? It's like just making the preparation so that you can get ready for takeoff. And once you get up in the air, that's on you.
Yep.
But we got to strip. We're gonna get you what you need, acclimated, make sure you're prepared, the right altitude to get you to where you need to go, and then you do the rest of the work.
Yep.
So once that's done, you got that to refer back to if you need it. But you hold on, you hold the course, so you stay firm in the head of where you need to go. That's
Yep.
what it's for. So even to this day, in different aspects of my life, I apply the 21-3 method in different ways.
Yeah.
But albeit not just physical, but something
Mhm.
maybe like I said, like emotional, it's like
Yep.
psychological, something that I need to address for me, that I'm like, you know what, let me try this method here.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna hold myself accountable and see where it comes out of it.
Yep.
And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, 9 times out of 10, I am better for doing it. I am so much
Mm.
better each time I've applied it to a different aspect of my life. The 4-4-8 method is a
Yep.
method that I've been doing, that
Mm.
I've been applying the 21-3 method towards,
Great.
just for that purpose from when we discussed it.
Wow.
And it's been helping me manage to stay calm
Mhm.
and not feel too much of an anxiety attack coming on for different things.
Mm.
You see what
And
I'm saying?
I do.
So
And real quick, for those
yeah.
who aren't familiar with the 448, we discussed this about there was episode 38 when we were talking about stress. And so essentially what you do is you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, then you exhale for 8 for 10 cycles. Do that 10 times, and I can guarantee you, you will feel like, when I say you would feel different, you would literally feel calmer. You would literally feel different. It's it's so crazy what the mind and the body and all that spiritual connection that you get once you go through those 10 cycles. You feel like you've started over fresh. You can do anything that you could possibly imagine in this life. And that's just, it's not hyperbole. Like, you really do feel a change in your body
Mhm.
once you do that deep breathing exercise. And that's something I skipped this Sunday morning, unfortunately. So it is something that I'll have to do today, because you're right. You do get centered. You do get present, and you can literally feel yourself change. And that change allows me to go through the day without, having to rely on coffee or any type of energy drink to get me going. It centers me, it calms me, it
Mhm.
it allows me to think before I act, and really hone in on my craft and what I know how to do best. So if you haven't seen that in episode 38, please go back and watch, because we go into a little bit more detail there of why that does work. But for the 21-3 method, I think what you said is spot on. It's it's something that is so different than any of the programs that you had. You're right. As soon as you do take off, you're on your own, but we prepare you to become able to be independent, to be on your own,
Yeah.
right? You can't build a house without the tools.
Mhm.
You can't. You need those tools. So those tools will help you, as will this tool. The 21-3 method is that tool that will help you to lead a much more fulfilling life, to understand how healthy habits work, to understand how you can replace a good habit or a bad habit rather with a good habit, and how to sustain that long term. That is the most important part, sustaining it. Being able to look back 10, 15, 20 years and still be living the lifestyle without even trying that hard, right? Imagine living such a healthy lifestyle, both physically and mentally, as you would be brushing your teeth, right? As you would be breathing. All of those things that we literally don't sit and think to do, we just go ahead and do it. That's how easy it will become to live once you're done with this 21-3 method.
Yeah, yeah. You create the habits and become habitual eventually. And this is something to keep you on track with that process. And then at that point, you're just accountable for it. And it feels like second nature. I could tell you from experience is what it feels like when it's something I haven't done and I recognize I need to do it. And again, I hold myself within that range when I'm locked in on it. And that's my objective. It has to be accomplished and I get it done.
Yep.
And like you're not perfect, but this is what this method is here to help you sustain the best version of you that you can get.
Mm.
And who do you really not want that for yourself is the question. Do you not love yourself? Every time I think about this, Jay, that's what it always come back to for me personally.
Yeah.
Damn it, Will, how much do you love yourself?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm working out, like I've been dealing with this foot injury, man, for a while. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been extremely frustrating
Mm.
and it's been hard because I can't run. And that's different for me. So, I've been at it lately, putting some effort and gritting my teeth and making this work. And for,
Right.
for some of you out there may have saw, if you haven't, my IG, and just for our Chromas Fitness and that aspect of it to show you the healthy habit and the mindset and the will to push through when you're not your best self, regardless. You apply it. This is something that we share videos of us doing at times when we work out and just showing you that motivational aspect of it. And look, I was excruciating pain, and every time that I'm on it and I'm hitting my bag, I'm hurting, but
Mm.
I'm loving myself enough to know first I safely can get through this, but still hold myself accountable within my 21-3 method because I got to still work. I still got to grind. My foot may be messed up, but what the hell's wrong with my upper body? What's wrong with me doing
Absolutely right.
crunches? What's wrong with me, standing and moving enough on it to get it going? I can't run right now like I want to.
Mm.
Especially this is fall, the transition into winter is my grind mode. That's when I push the hardest. So
Yeah.
it's a little difficult because it's psychological this year. So I'm like, okay,
Mm.
all right, that's cool. So developing these other methods, such as like the 448, has been helpful with it. Stretching much more than I probably would stretch is different.
Mhm.
I've been bulking, but trying to bulk in a healthy way as well. And then just being very meticulous about it so that as a transition to getting myself back in, good condition that I can run again, I'll hit the ground running with it. But again, the 21-3 method is how I'm holding myself accountable and disciplined to get me through this not so comfortable time
Mm.
of not being able to do what I want to do,
Right.
because of injuries. So
Yeah.
it's things like that, just recognizing where something such as this particular method comes in handy and it
Yeah.
helps just from a physical aspect, just discussing that. And then as well from emotionally as well, because it's challenging, it's difficult, you get angry, you get frustrated, you're like, oh, all this work I'm doing, all this work I've been putting in, and it's setting me back, it's a setback. But then you think
Yeah.
about it, and you think about some of these athletes that Jay has talked about in previous episodes, where the mental health aspect comes in. It's really important. It's
It
important
is.
to take the time,
Yep.
um, and just recover and just love yourself enough the right way to take a moment to stop. Hey, even say something just off the record, but like Jay, where we were having a text not too long ago. And Jay was like, look, hey, he knew his body. He knew his body enough to tell him,
Yeah.
hey, I need to stop.
Yep.
You need a break. And I was proud of him for that because it's a hard thing to do to
Mhm.
acknowledge to yourself when you need to take a pause from something, to give yourself the healthy love and support that you need for you first.
Absolutely.
But it's all a part of the process and being disciplined in yourself enough to know yourself. So it's just recognizing those things. I wanted to mention that too while we were on the subject.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, listening to the body and mind, I think it's something that you'll be more in tune with once you're done with the method. Like even before even before you went through it or I went through it, there there was a time where we sort of ignored where our bodies were, where our minds were. We had to work, you have kids, loans to pay, got to get married, got to do this. We weren't necessarily paying enough attention to where we were. Are we okay? We were acting like superheroes, but who watches the Watchmen? You know what I mean? So
Mm,
it's like we had to take the time out to understand exactly where we were in life, where we wanted to be in life, who we wanted to become, and become our true selves in the process. And that process was accomplished through the 21-3 method.
mhm,
You were in this method, you were able to see those grueling thoughts, those terrible, rough days that Will C had to go through to get to where he is now. And it's probably no different in your life. I mean, the situations are different, sure, but the hardships are still the same, right? We're all going through something.
mhm,
Now you get to see how somebody dealt with all of those things and was still able to find himself, still able to love himself enough to be able to live this now sustainable lifestyle that he's been able to create through the tools given to him in the 21-3 method. So I think it's very important to understand that aspect that once you do get through this, you'll be more in tune with yourself. You'll be more in tune with your body, with your mind, with your spirit. You'll be okay with saying no. You'll be okay with unfriending people who are not there for you anymore, who are not going to be who your new lifestyle is supposed to be. And seasons. You say it all the time, Will. Seasons. This is a different season for you. It's a different season for me.
mhm,
And it's important that the circle that you create, the circle that you have around you, is fulfilling their needs as well as you are. So I
mhm,
think it's very important to really put that out there and say that this method isn't a it's not a cure all. It's not anything that shows perfection. It's not anything that is teaching you perfection. It's nothing like that. It's literally giving you those tools that you will need to use to get to where you want to
mhm.
be who you are to become already. It's a little bit of a clarity thing with the 21-3 method. And that's why I enjoyed going through it. We'll see. I enjoyed writing about your process going through it. I think that the one takeaway that the audience will have reading this is authenticity. They will say, this man has gone through so much. I am also going through so much. Why not dedicate myself to finding myself? And I can't wait to hear the stories that I know we're going to hear once people end up going through those 21 days
Yeah.
and becoming who they were supposed to be the whole time. That is the most fulfilling aspect of this method.
Oh yeah. Just that right there, becoming who you are supposed to be, in essence, who you've always been.
Hmm.
Once you break that barrier and you let that go, and you embrace you, and you learn to love yourself the right way, the peace that you seek, is within you. It's already been there. That's something I had to learn.
Yeah.
I had asked myself what my purpose was, my why, what did I seek, and I seek peace, I seek joy, and that was something in my life I never had before. Not pure joy,
Mm.
moments of happiness here and there, but nothing sustainable. But once I found the joy in learning how to love me, that changed everything for me. My whole life, my whole thought process shifted completely,
Mm.
and now I know I matter. I know I matter for the rest of my days because I'm enough for me. I don't have to be enough for anyone else in the world. Just me. And if I'm enough for me, the
Hmm.
right folks will gravitate around that seek that energy, that embraces that because they're learning to love themselves enough so they can appreciate the authenticity and the genuine sincerity of another being. They can
That's it.
appreciate that. And that's was important to me, that right there, because I know that the love and energy I give back, I'm receiving. And that's where I'm at in my life, where if I'm not getting that, I wish you the best. I hope you find your way. But this energy has to be protected, and there are boundaries that I'm setting for myself if I can't be given to what I'm giving out the right way.
Yeah.
And that's just sincerity and honesty, and just taking that time to just love yourself. It's easy to spot that nowadays.
Yeah.
If you really start willing to work, and that's what I had to learn. It's easy to spot when someone's not loving themselves enough, and it's also easy to spot yourself when you're addicted to being accustomed to taking crap that you don't have to take from someone or people. When as an empath, to my core, as a pure empath, when you're used to allowing yourself to be a stepping stool for another person, for their feelings, for because you feel deeply and you just want the best for them, but you got to give yourself that first.
Absolutely.
And then you can filter it through and know who's there, who's really just absorbing your essence and not really caring enough to give it to you back.
Yeah.
Because people aren't like where they choose to be. As I had learned from experience, people aren't life where they choose to be.
That's absolutely true.
And I choose to be in my now. I choose to love me the right way because I know that I'm worth it. And I choose to be a part of this process, choose to be a part of this community that we've established and that we're growing. It's a choice.
Yeah.
And everything in life is transitional. So while our role in this may not be forever, what we put down now is going to set the foundation for it to continue long after us. And that's what's important. That's the legacy we choose to leave behind. Yeah. That's the impact our love in ourselves, and to give it to everyone else effortlessly is going to ultimately dictate what we've done, what we've accomplished, when others look back. And for me, I would rather have people speak on their own of me rather than what I need to say to them about me, because my character carries weight.
Absolutely.
And that's just enough. That's enough for me. That's enough for you, Jay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, if you choose to invest in yourself and go through the 21-3 method program, what you need to do is be prepared for January 1st, 2022. Because that's when this program launches. It'll be live on the achromastore.com, where you can find all the Achromous gear, any sort of brand recognition that we have for Achromous, whether it's the fitness side or the podcast side. It could all be found there. January 1st, 2022 could be, if you so choose, the beginning of the rest of your life. I personally would want to choose that every single day of my life, knowing that there's a program out there that cuts through all of the fat, so to speak, that maybe some of the other programs put in there, whether it's extremely motivational or extremely inspirational or just a lot of sales fluff. There's none of that in here. What you get in here is a core belief that healthy habits can transform your life. And you also get a step-by-step strategy for 21 straight days, how to do that. It is literally a foolproof program that you follow from day 1 to day 21. And then, of course, day 21 all the way through the rest of your life. As long as you apply what you've learned in those 21 days, you will see success. Whether it's physically, spiritually, emotionally, doesn't matter. You will be successful. I am honestly proud of this program. I'm glad we were able to sit down and really hash out exactly what this program means, what this program is, and what it isn't. I think that's very important for the end user, especially if this is something that they want to invest in, to know exactly what their return is going to be.
Yeah.
The return is going to be understanding habitual behavior, understanding how to trade in those bad habits that you may have for good ones, and then how to sustain that new lifestyle. That's it. It's that simple. So January 21st. See, I'm always with the 21s now, man. January 1st, 2022 will be the launch of the 21-3 method. And we're very excited to put this out there for you to invest in, and invest in your life, invest in yourself. And this honestly, is something that we've, this has been in the works for quite some time now. It's something that we've been working on because we wanted to make sure that it fulfilled its purpose. We didn't want to rush anything out there. We could have, right? We could have done this earlier. We could have pushed this faster, but we wanted to make sure that we took our time and we were able to fill the needs that we are saying that this will fulfill. So we cannot wait for January 1st, 2022. We can't wait for our Chromist community to be a part of this movement. And we can't wait for you to share your stories with us so that we may understand more about you and you can understand more about us. And that's what we're all about here at Chromist.
Yeah, well said, Jay. Well said. So you know it's coming. So I would suggest making the preparations now and learning how to love yourself.
Hmm.
And when that time comes, we have the method available for you to help hold yourself accountable in that process.
Yep.
So be ready. You have a little time left.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Mentally prepare yourself,
Yes.
physically prepare yourself, spiritually prepare yourself.
Mhm.
Because this is going to be a journey unlike one that you've probably had. It's I want to say it's as physically exhausting as it is mental. So you must be prepared to be able to go through this journey, to be able to stick through it, to be able to ride the waves that you are surely going to go through.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, how many people, how many times do you hear it being promoted that this will be a struggle, right? Especially if it's personal development, this will be difficult. This will be a struggle, but it will be all worth it at the end of those 21 days.
Because you matter.
Absolutely.
Because you matter. You're worth it. How much do you love you? How much do you love yourself, man? That's what it comes back to. That's legitimately the question I ask myself every day when I'm going through the process of whatever I'm dealing with, and even as it relates to applying the 21-3 method. Are you not worth it? Do you not matter?
Wow. And look, there's so much I could put into words more about the 21-3 method, but I think the results for those who invest in it, for those who choose to take part in it, will speak for themselves. Once the stories start rolling in, once the testimonials start rolling in, once our community starts to dive into the 21-3 method, once it's available, it'll speak for itself. And we can't wait. We can't wait to see it. Yeah. We can't wait to see people who are ready to change their lives, who are ready to spend their 21 days getting right in order to lead a more fulfilling life afterwards. Is something that we're all about. We try to create a successful atmosphere, so to speak. We try to develop a community who we know they're going through it, but at the same time, they're learning more and more every single day to love themselves. And they're learning more how to deal with the grind that you get every single day. They're learning how to deal with people who may not be there when they need them, or may not be the best for them in their lives, even if it is tough to cut them off. All of those things we know that people are constantly dealing with. And you must continue to evolve if you want to surround yourself with success, if you want to be in a successful atmosphere. Just a quick story. Back when I was in college, of course, we played flag football. Even now, we're still playing flag football. We did not start winning immediately. It took a lot of time to look within ourselves, look within our team. It took a lot of days where we had to spend, where we could be studying or doing other things, partying like a lot of people do in college. But instead, we decided that we would spend our Saturdays practicing, doing the same thing over and over again, making 1% improvement each and every practice, so that when it came time for season, we would be absolutely ready. And not just ready to win and blow out all the teams, but ready to weather the storm, because nothing is perfect. So we were able to get through that season. We had our wins, we had our losses, but in the end, we stuck together and we won the championship. We've done it in college, and I've done it 4 times since then, with other teams I've been a part of. But it's about creating this successful atmosphere around you, full of people who not only think they will win, but truly believe they will win, and then there's no other result that they can possibly get. And if a loss does come, it is not a true loss. It is a lesson learned, so that the next time you adjust, you adapt, you evolve, and you become better than you were before. So next week on the Acromas podcast, next Sunday, 9:30 a.m., episode 41, we want to teach you exactly how to create a successful atmosphere. How do you draw in success? How do you develop it? How do you push it out to people around you? How do you get your circle, your very tight circle, or maybe you have a broad one? How do you get them to buy in to the successful atmosphere that you're bringing? How do you build that culture from the ground up? Next Sunday, we'll teach you exactly that.
So get ready to tune in, everyone. We have it ready, and we're ready to talk and share and give all that good information to you, so you can start working those successful habits for you.
Yep, absolutely. And I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful Sunday, guys. We want you to enjoy it. We thank you once again for joining the Acromas podcast. If this is your first time here, it's okay. I will go easy on you this time. But if you have been here for the past 40 episodes, there is absolutely no reason why you should not know the name by now.
Tell them, Jay, just for a good measure.
ACHROMOUS. You can find us on YouTube, on Spotify, on Facebook, on Instagram, and even on TikTok. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button and you hit that notification bell, so the next time that you see the Acromas podcast pop up on your feed, you'll know that you're one of the first ones to look at it. And most of all, I can't believe this is about to happen again.
It's free.
Oh
Just to recap, guys, it's free to do so. So please be sure to do those things, and then share it as well. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with anyone you feel is like a benefit from sustaining and learning healthy habits, getting some of these gems as well. We want to spread it, get the word out there, and grow the community and grow like-minded individuals. Ultimately, sound cliche, but truly making the world a better place to live in.
Absolutely. And the world needs to become a better place.
Yeah.
You go out there and you build the world a better place today. It's 1%. That's all you need.
That's
1%.
Just one.
And until next Sunday, it's your boy J.H. Givens.
I'm Will C.
Peace.